Alright guys, I'm back with my review of this week's WWE Friday Night Smackdown for July 26, 2013. Show starts off with Sandow versus Orton. They gave these guys a lot of time here. Sandow looked pretty strong in this match. I wasn't very excited about this one. For some reason, something didn't click with me. It was okay, but it wasn't really as good as it should have been, I thought. But maybe it's because you just know Randy Orton's going to win. Maybe that's it. And they did try to pull some type of crap here, but still, Orton does win. Cody comes out. He grabs Sandow's briefcase. He gets distracted. Orton hits him with an RKO. So I guess that just hurt the match. You just knew Sandow had no chance. Something had to happen. But Cody leaves with the briefcase, and they did this all night. Damien Sandow looking for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has got the briefcase, and Sandow's freaking out because that's his contract. But it doesn't really make sense because, to me, the briefcase has always been a symbol. You can't take it. You can't steal someone's briefcase and then you cash it in. So it didn't make sense why Damien Sandow was so concerned over this briefcase. And I'm sure on Raw or SmackDown next week, they're going to explain that the contract is only for Damien Sandow, so he still has his money in the bank, and it's going to be like none of this ever happened. So it was just really weird that Damien Sandow was freaking out over what's basically a symbol, and you can't take away his contract. So I'm sure that's going to be explained. CM Punk comes out and says Heyman only helped him to help himself. He's going to beat up Brock Lesnar. Fandango interrupts him. He gets in the ring. Punk immediately goes off on him, hits the GTS. Mark Henry and the Usos versus the Primetime Playas and Wade Barrett. Henry hits the World's Strongest Slam on Titus for the win. I didn't really care about any of this. Del Rio tells Vicky that Cena got to pick his opponent for SummerSlam, so he thinks he should get to pick his opponent. RVD comes up and says, hey, you should pick me. Del Rio says, you got to prove yourself, and RVD says, okay, I'll beat you tonight. Sandow's looking for Cody Rhodes, and he asks Sin Cara, who apparently just unloads boxes backstage now, in costume, and he just keeps shaking his head yes. RVD versus Del Rio. Del Rio keeps running out of the ring. He finally gets in the ring. RVD starts going off on him in the corner. Del Rio keeps pushing him back. The referee's trying to keep control here, and Del Rio keeps saying no mas, no mas. And the referee's like, do you want to quit? RVD keeps going off on him some more, and then Del Rio takes a cheap shot on RVD, kicks him in the head, and rolls him up for the win. I thought this was shit, really. I know that they did this because Del Rio has some broken ribs or whatever, but there's a ton of things they could have done that would have been better than this. And I actually thought it was going to be a pretty good show up until that point. Sandow asks Mark Henry and Booker if they've seen Cody. Booker gets pissed off when he says something about him not being general manager anymore. AJ Lee comes out. She has Dolph's house key and his luggage. Dolph comes out and says everything in that ring is replaceable. So she starts tearing up his passport, ripping up his money, cutting his credit card. And she just starts freaking out. Caitlyn spears her. And while Big E's checking on her, Dolph runs down and hits a Fameasser on him on the floor. And I thought it was a pretty good segment. It was entertaining. AJ looked hot here. But I do have to say, Dolph's kind of being a dick about this whole breakup thing. I mean, AJ didn't mean to cost him the match. Just saying. Tons of Funk versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan of the Wyatt family. Very short squash match here. Eric Rowan pins Sweet Tea after a splash for the win. Bray Wyatt gets in the ring, hits the Sister Abigail move on Sweet Tea, and then cuts a promo talking about Kane and how they've been waiting for him and to follow the Buzzards. And I'm sure there's going to be some type of shenanigans on Raw when it's Kane versus Daniel Bryan. Sandow asks Vicky where Cody is. She says she's called the authorities. We get Christian versus Jack Swagger. Christian wins with a kill switch. It wasn't really a bad match or anything, but who cares about Christian versus Jack Swagger? So Sandow comes out and he says that he's going to have Cody arrested. He wants him fired. Cody comes on the Titantron and he's got the briefcase and he's in front of the Gulf of Mexico. So you instantly know where this is going. Sandow runs outside. He begs Cody not to throw the briefcase into the water. Of course, he throws it in. Sandow starts screaming, "Help! Help me, please!" And he says he can't swim, but he jumps in the water anyway. He acts like he's drowning. He climbs out and starts coughing up water. This was so awesome. And it was kind of weird because they kept showing the replay of it and the announcers weren't saying anything. It was just silence. So that was kind of strange, but yeah, Sandow was the best part of the show this week. I thought this was just fantastic. The way he was acting and his facial expressions, it was all great. But as far as the rest of the show goes, Christian versus Jack Swagger, Mark Henry and the Usos, and I mean, it's just... AJ Lee had a good segment with Dolph. Sandow Orton had a good match, but it was really just the Sandow Cody Rhodes stuff that helped this one, and that was kind of ridiculous because, like I said earlier, the briefcase is really just a symbol. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say this was kind of average, maybe below average this week. But anyways, that's my review. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments, and thanks for watching.